Welcome to this research demonstration. Today I'm going to talk about developing and implementing a student skills radar system. It's a machine learning approach to leverage student skills and knowledge. In fact, many of the educational units they try their best to evaluate the student and their educational environment. They are trying to find the student at risk. They are trying to assess their achievement for the program learning outcomes or even for their individual or different course learning outcomes. But the reality is that most of this assessment comes at the end of the semester, which means that it's not a continuous process in terms of finding a real improvement or enhancement to support the education process during the educational process itself. As well, there is no tools that can help the education units to find the market demanded skills that they have a kind of lack of, or even they have a strong in terms of market demand. So what are the main parameters which we can find in this research? In this research, we need to look to the market demand, knowledge and skills. We need to look to the educational context. We need to look to the teacher's knowledge and skills, as well to the student knowledge and skills, and as well the student motivation. In order to find the student at risk, in order to find the employability ratio for any education unit, as well the achievement of any program learning outcomes. Most of the current education system moved from the only academic education system into a hybrid education system. The hybrid education system means that they are not focused only in the academic knowledge, but also they are focusing on the skills. They are focusing on the vocational skills, where this student or graduate will implement the knowledge in the industrial field, in their real life. So they need to empower these students and weapon them with this knowledge and skills, not only the knowledge. This research mainly try to figure out these factors which I mentioned before. As well, it will function as a tool for detecting the achievement of any learning outcomes and course learning outcomes or even program learning outcomes, and also use it as a tool to detect the individuality in terms of knowledge and skills for individual learner, as well to measure the aggregated achievement inside any organization unit, any education unit, as well to generate recommendations for a student and the learners based on their continuous achievement, not only based on the grades but also based on some other factors which I will refer it later, and map these recommendations to the knowledge and skills which we need to supply a student and learner with. So we aim to develop and implement a comprehensive student skills radar system to detect the knowledge and skills strengths and weaknesses, to detect the market demand in terms of knowledge and skills, and professional in terms of soft skills, for example, and implement some algorithm, data mining algorithm or machine learning algorithm to measure these factors, then generate recommendations. This research innovative aims to find a tool to auto-detect market needs. Auto-detect market needs means that as an education system, we need to produce or have a high professional, skillful graduate to fulfill the market demand. And also we need to evaluate the different factors in our education system in terms of knowledge and skills. Also, we need to control the directed knowledge and skills to the student during the educational environment period while the student is us in any education unit. So this function or this tool should work as a kind of parameter to measure the employability ratio for the student, as well to predict the future academic performance for our students and generate advising and recommendation. Generating advising and recommendation is not only just of of advising session. As I mentioned, it's a tutoring, it's a supportive class, it's an online tutorial or video, something like that, which we should interact as a win-to-win between the educational environment and the student. As well, we need to measure the student performance and also student future employability ratio to assure that our graduate will be highly competitor to the other graduates in the market. So, what are the cycles which we can follow in this research? Firstly, we need to profiling and the data collection about the student, about educational system, about logistics which we have, as well about the faculty who deliver this knowledge to the student. Then we need to clean and integrate these data, prepare the data to the form which we can process in a proper way and manner. Then we need to adapt and implement machine learning algorithm and data mining algorithm to find the correlation between these factors, comparing it to the optimal graduate student. Then we need to generate a recommendation, or this tool will provide a kind of recommendation generated based on these analyze the data and discover the knowledge. Then we need to evaluate the system and update our system and educational environment. What type of data which we can collect? I will give a sample, not everything. Say, for example, about the faculty, we need to collect the data about their soft skills and the technical certificates. We need to have a matrix about their academic performance logs and academic records. As well, we need to collect data about their project participation and social activities. The same thing will map to the students, the same thing will map to the educational context which we have in our education unit. As well, for the market demand, we need to collect the data about the soft skills needed in the market, customize the knowledge and the problem solving needed in the market, as well the innovation and leadership requirement for different professions in the market demand. So we expected various findings for this research, but mainly we have four main research findings. We can figure out more or extend these findings later. Firstly, we need to discover the student knowledge and skills at risk, and I want to emphasize here that we aim to figure out the skills and knowledge at risk, not a student at risk. So for every student, they have weaknesses and they have strengths, so we are looking to find both of them, but mostly we will try to detect these weaknesses in terms of skills and knowledge and give the needed support and enhancement. Then we need to map out the student weak skills to a specific enhancement and recommendation, evaluate the current skills against the market demand, skills and knowledge, and then measure the student employability ratio, which will show how our students are competitor and can be with a high rank in the as per the market demand. What are the benefits which we can gain? Various benefits which we can gain from such research. Early detect for the student at risk in terms of skills and knowledge. So we can find which skills and knowledge we have a lack in the educational environment. So might be we don't have the faculty or who can deliver this knowledge and the skills. So it's not a problem related to the learner. So we need to look and find if it's a common something, then we need to have recruitment in this area or these skills and knowledge. Also to make an early recommendation for this for the learner from their first step at the university, so they can be away somehow from any dismissal or any risk to dismissal from the system, as well to identify the strong and feeble skills for the learner, give the needed support for advisor and for the admin to give the needed support to these students. Also to monitor the student employability parameters, so in terms of their chances to find a job in the market can be detected early, and then we can give the needed support to them. Measure the implications hidden of any education system. Mostly we are locked to the student and we are locked to the academic context, but we have many other factors, logistics, we have faculty skills who already should deliver these skills, so they will be able to deliver if they have and attain these skills and knowledge. So we need to measure this too. What type of researches we can, type of points which we can measure? As I referred before, we can measure different factors, but mainly we can highlight these points that we can measure for now. Say we need to measure educational program curriculum skills and knowledge comparing to the market demand. So we are not isolated from the market. We should deliver as per the market needs. As well, we need to measure the attained knowledge and skills for our students during their continuous learning process. We need to determine pre-starting recommendation for the cold start. We call it the cold start student, for those fresh and new students who will join the system, to avoid any dismissal from them. As well, we need to find measure the probability of dismissal for any cases which we have in the system, and by this model we can find this too. As well, we need to measure the impact of soft skills for the student, for the faculty, on their progression, academic progression, and also in their employability ratio. We need to measure the impact of specialization on employability ratio by skills and knowledge rather than by student choice. So it's not only give the student free of hand to choose the program without considering their knowledge and the skills. We need to consider knowledge and the skills and give them also a chances for selecting their program, so it can work together, but not just by selecting any program. Then predict the courses on demand, and this will give a full support for scheduling and for the admin too, as well to measure the leadership employability ratio which we need for our student to fit to the market demand. These are the some points or avenues which we expected that we will work on it to achieve it, and at the end, this system will give the needed support for the educational environment, for the learner, and also for the advisors. So it's a win-to-win research project. Thank you.